Hello, doing another video again. This time I'm going to talk about all the things that aren't uh werewolf related and kind of just express all of that this time before I start making hopefully like shorter videos and being a bit more specific about things, or at least try to make shorter videos that, or make this into a podcast. I don't know. Anyway, um, I'm going to talk about things that have been very meaningful to me, and things that I very much like, and you guys are welcome to go and share your feelings as well, as I've talked about before, hopefully made clear in my other videos. But yeah, so first, let's go with some of the most obvious things. I very much love music and video games. So I'm going to go and talk about that this time. And then I'll figure out whatever else later. So first, we're going to talk about music. Music has been a very big thing in my life ever since I was little. Music-wise, now, as an adult, what I listen to mostly is EDM, country, and I kind of can't choose between the two, so I just kind of put them together, and I just say rock/metal. I know that it's definitely not, like, they're separate for sure, but I still go and just say rock/metal. That way I can kind of keep them together because they still mean a lot to me. Artists that I listen to a lot in each genre range very wide. And I'm not very good at saying exactly what subgenres I listen to or anything like that because, I don't know, I'm not, I can't figure out exactly what fits where. So, excuse me if maybe I mix something up or if it doesn't seem quite EDM or fits that enough. So, first, in EDM, or what I consider to be, or what I know to be EDM or think to be EDM, Sullivan King. That's a really good one. Then there's, that's a really good artist that I have been listening to them for some years now. There's also Pegboard Nerds, and surprisingly, I don't really listen to Excision very much, but Excision is actually pretty good. And Skrillex. Skrillex was the artist that first got me into even anything close to that. I have a lot of personal memories listening to Skrillex just to calm me down. And I remember that I used to go and play this video game called Just Dance a lot. And there was a song which was, I think it was Rock Will Take You to the Mountain or something like that. And I remember going and dancing and trying to go and get like 5 stars on that. That was a very big memory for me, and that was very fun. So there's that. Then we have, as far as country goes, there's more modern versions, and then there are things that are older. There's some songs that that I really like a lot. I'm discovering the older artists now, but some newer artists that are a part of that have been with me for a pretty long time. Uh, um, Newest artist that I really like that I recently found out about is Kane Brown, and then a little bit before then is um, Florida Georgia Line. Yes, I know that that it's country and something else, but yeah, they've helped me a lot. Florida Georgia Line is what introduced me and started getting me to consider and listen to country more and get into the older stuff as well. And Lady Antebellum. Yep. Oh, and Lainey Wilson. So, yeah. I think Lainey Wilson. Forgive me if I'm mixing up artists. My brain has kind of started mixing up certain things. Anyway, then there is right, rock / metal. So there's way more artists that I listen to more frequently in this kind of much larger thing that I kind of put together to fit together like that. So yeah, we have Sabaton, which is more of something. It's a shared thing for me because it was actually my partner that introduced me to Sabaton, and the memories that I have of how much they love that actually is why I love it now so much. And there's that. There's also 3 Days Grace and Falling in Reverse. There are so many. Nickelback was another one that got me into that world too. And the thing is, with all of the music, well, I'm just gonna go and say that music has been a part of, I'm like, as I'm sure it has for everyone, it has been a part of my growth as a person and has helped me through very rough times. Because I've been through some pretty hard times. At least what I think would be hard times. I think that, surprisingly, the biggest artist that I can go and think of that has helped me the most is 3 Days Grace. And for the rest of my life, I will always have a story to go and kind of tell. It's a small story, but it still means so much when it comes down to 3 Days Grace. And I'll go and I'll say a couple more artists. Like I said, Skrillex. But there are a couple more that also really helped me when things were getting harder and harder for me, especially mentally. There was a couple of things that helped me. It was at a time after, well, okay. I've said this story before on other social media things, but I feel like there's a lot more authenticity in talking about it here, so I'm gonna do that too. And maybe people will feel a little bit more. Maybe other people have stories too that are similar, and maybe people feel more like they have something in common with someone. This is also why I like talking about things. Because of that, and because I feel good when people do that with me, so I want to do that for other people. So, yeah. Um, so a little bit, not too deep into it, but a little bit, um, music wasn't music was always a big thing for me, but it was also more controlled and more strict. I couldn't, um, when I was a kid, I couldn't listen to very much music. There was only what my parents said was okay. Well, one of my parents said was okay to listen to. And it wasn't really based off of just what's safe for a kid to listen to. It was more just off of preference and things. And it was mostly going to be some hip hop was in there, a little bit of rock. There was blues, jazz, and classical music, and things like that. Very close things that were closely related to that. There was a lot of jazz and classical music. And it did have an effect on me that I would say was negative for it to be so much of that all the time and not have anything outside of that. It didn't affect me very much because I didn't know very much outside of that. And I didn't get to hear very much music outside of that at all. So, there's that. But the thing is that I was very good at finding times to go and sneak and listen to other music the older and older I got. And one of the very first musicians that band that I ever discovered before any of the other ones that I've named was Maroon 5. And that branched off over time because I loved listening to that for a while. Don't quite remember the age, but anyway, I was on the older side. Definitely not too young, but yeah. I'd say closer to probably. My memory's kind of weird, so closer to around 10, I'd go and say somewhere around there. But again, I didn't know any better. I listened to some Maroon 5 songs, some of the more popular ones that were playing on the radio and stuff like that. I found some of that and some videos, and I enjoyed watching them, and I couldn't stop listening to them. And then it moved on to what really helped me to become who I am as well, which was when I left that entire situation. There was a moment that I think that sparked me to become something way more out there. It wasn't like a lot, but that gave me more personality and like let me be me more. Which was two things. I discovered a song, a specific song from Eminem, and a couple of songs from 3 Days Grace, but specifically one from 3 Days Grace and another one from Eminem. And those ones that I heard around the same like day or week after I left that situation that was getting way worse and way harder for me. I left that situation, and it was it was from Eminem, not, and it was called Not Afraid, and then there was 3 Days Grace, Break. Those two songs were so not just emotional, but expressed something very meaningful to me. And that emotion and that meaning kind of excited me mentally in a way that caused me to not just to embrace new stuff, basically, instead of being scared of what was going on, and instead of being stressed, because obviously I was, just seeing that and feeling even more wonder about what was outside of all of that, and outside of the situation that I was going through. That extra thing and that sound helped me to be me more. And then the most important thing, and why I say 3 Days Grace has been the most influential for me and has helped me personally a whole lot, was because even though I don't have a lot of personal experience about the subjects that they talk to or talk about, or some of them anyway, it's not just it's the emotion and the point and all of that that was so powerful for me. And I remember one thing that was the hardest thing for me to do, which was I was always self-conscious and shy and nervous about things, no matter how much I had all these other things going on. I was able to go and do all kinds of silly things. I was not aware of the world, all of that. I still was self-conscious. I still was shy. And I was still scared of lots of things. So, and I was like that even to myself. So, or even when I was by myself, there were just some things I just didn't know how to do and I didn't want to do, but that I guess I secretly did. And one thing was I wanted to react to music. Like, I could sing, singing was fine, but dancing was a problem. And then just being able to feel and enjoy the music. And for some reason, 3 Days Grace, well, not just for some reason, but it was specifically 3 Days Grace that caused me to find myself enough to go, and one day, when I was completely by myself, and I wasn't worried about what other people would think, I decided to not care about what I thought of myself or how I thought I would have been seen by somebody, or that weird self-consciousness that I had. I stopped caring about it. And I decided to go and just, well, dance. And I did all the silly things that I didn't know was really meaningful or not, and not so silly. I still felt silly, but I didn't care about what I looked like. And I'm not saying that other people look silly, but I was like stomping my feet and being able to go and like, I wasn't like singing it out loud, but I was going and practically silently yelling the music, and I was going and like headbanging and just enjoying myself and being free. And it was to the song Break by 3 Days Grace. And it kept going for a pretty long time, or at least their influence kept kept pushing me for a pretty long time throughout my life, to where not only did I manage to go and it's music that I've managed to bond to with other people, which was my partner. It helped me. They helped me when I was having things like anxiety attacks. I still do now, but my anxiety attacks were way worse when I was younger. So they helped me not have them so much. I remember going and being in my room and listening to them. And they really did help me get through a lot then. And weirdly enough, I managed to go and still, like, even as of recently, listen to them, and they made a new album recently, and that has helped me too. There's one very specific song. I don't remember the exact title, but it's called Waves, or In Waves, and I am grieving someone. I know that it sounds maybe like I'm not trying to go and have anybody go and like feel bad for me or anything, but I did lose someone, and it was some years ago. But when I listen to that, because I'm still dealing with how much that has affected me, it is one of those songs that doesn't make me the same kind of sad that other songs do about that subject. But it still hurts in a way that allows for me to feel that. And even then, their music helps me a lot get through things and feel things. Sometimes when it's very hard for me to. And so I really like 3 Days Grace for that. And they're one of the most influential bands and artists in my life. Falling in Reverse is too, but that's more so because they help me. They have really, at least Falling in Reverse's sound is all the emotion that I have ever wanted to go and hear in music, and I don't know, it fits like a perfect jigsaw puzzle piece, and I don't know, I really like it. There's a lot of stuff going on with the Falling in Reverse subject, and I don't know exactly what to go and talk about with that. I don't really want to go and talk about it very much. Especially because, yeah. The music, though, very good. Undeniably, in my opinion, very good. And I would love to still hear more. I'm not going to go and get into that too much. But, yeah. Yeah. I like a lot more artists than that. I can go, if you wanted me to go and list off artists that I've listened to, it is so big. There are so many genres that I actually listen to. It's crazy. Everything from artists that are so small that maybe people just haven't really heard of them, and maybe things like that, to obvious artists that are really big. And yeah, I could be here all day naming so many. There are plenty of newer artists too that I listen to, like I Am Aaron Kai, and I don't know why I say that like that. Sorry, I guess I'm still nervous on camera. Um, there, I've listened to Corpse. I've listened to uh, everything from older music to, yeah. There's um uh I still listen to the stuff that I used to listen to when I was a kid, but now on my terms, which is like Earth, Wind and Fire, um uh Maze, uh I really like Earth, Wind and Fire. But Jimi Hendrix, uh because yes, that was something too. And surprisingly, things like Creedence Clearwater Revival, CCR, and what is it? Um, uh, Gosh darn it. Well, never mind. Right now, I'll remember one day. Yeah, and uh, before I move on and start talking about video games and stuff like that, I just wanted to go and say, you guys are welcome to go and share whatever you feel about music and the things that you like and talk about it and ask questions and stuff. That's the whole reason why I put out videos, to go and have fun discussing things as much as possible, the best that I can, and yeah. Then we have uh, video games. Video games have been a very meaningful part of my life as well. They were a great escape from a lot of stress, and I remember sneaking a lot, playing those too, in 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 the night. Um, when I wasn't doing all kinds of other silly things. But yeah, uh, I've played. So if anyone ever asks, my favorite game ever is going to be considered Spyro the Dragon. Um, because, well, as a kid, who isn't going to go and enjoy being a magical fantasy purple dragon who can go and run around and chase everything with fire and be able to stop bad guys and get treasure? That is amazing. And the fantasy worlds, right? In my opinion, they have a very, well, childlike, but not in a bad way, and like the things that make the idea of having an inner child a thing. That is very, the way that they captured it was amazing. And I don't think that it's one of those things where it's just for children at all. I think it is for everyone, no matter what age you are. It just has that kind of wonder and that very free imagination to it that is so, I don't know, it's so pretty and it's so nice. It's been therapy for me. Everything from the music to the places you go, and to be honest, the way that it was redesigned is amazing. And one thing that I would very much like to go and point out and to go and say is that I'm not even sure if the original trilogy before it was redone is the same kind of comparable to the new one, because the old one will always have its aesthetic, will always have its feeling to it, especially for people who have played the original one when they were younger. You cannot compare with that. The new one is just a way to redo it in this thing and to go and add more to it. But that does not necessarily make it what the original was. And I think that comparing it too much can go and cause the new one to not be enjoyed for what it is, because in some ways it is its own thing to me. And for me personally, I very, very much love the new one. And it has made me not only really happy, but I've played Spyro so many times. I cannot count how many times. I feel like I might be dramatizing it by going and saying like at least 100 times, but it's still high up there how many times I've actually played it, and it has helped me through a lot of stress too. I would go to that and just replay the game. It does not matter how many times I have fully completed it, because I have. It doesn't matter. I still will go back to playing it just because it is fun and it is so pretty, and it just makes me so happy, and I cannot explain why. It just does that for me. It has helped me even be able to communicate with other people what's going on in my head when I'm having an anxiety attack. And it can help me get out of having one because of how happy it makes me feel and how much it distracts me from the thing that's giving me the anxiety attack. So, Spyro the Dragon will always be my favorite game. But there are other games that have been very meaningful to me in different ways. Both newer games and things that I've also played for a long time, like Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank. Those are older for me. And then we have newer games that I have just been recently getting into, but for some reason that I really like the story for. And yes, it is for the story. The characters too, but actually I don't get into certain things the same way other people do. So it really is the story. The aesthetic is beautiful too, but yeah. So I play Hoyoverse games, Honkai Star Rail, Genshin Impact, and Zenless Zone Zero. Now, if I'm being honest, my favorite one out of all of them still is Zenless Zone Zero. But, yeah. Those are some of the newer things. And they've actually inspired me with my writing of my stories. Not necessarily fan-fiction-y things, but the types of stories that I'm writing, they've inspired me on how I can express more, what I want to express, basically, when I write my story and how I want to express it. I get that kind of feeling and vibe and inspiration when I want to go and write my stories. And it helps me, I think, in my opinion, be a bit of a better writer. So, there's that. Then there is one, even though there's been some sad news lately, it's Destiny 2. Destiny 2 has, I don't know when I first started playing, but it has been some years since I've played that. And it gave me that same magical feeling that I've had since I've played, or the same way, that same feeling, a little bit like Spyro. And it's weird because I've heard so much negativity towards Destiny 2 for a very long time. And I've never felt that kind of negativity towards Destiny 2, and I've always been confused why so many people would complain. And I'm not trying to get after anyone. It's just something that I personally could never understand. There's so much about it that I like, and even though I can admit that I am not someone that can go and pay for very many things and things like that, it still has brought me a lot of happiness to be able to go and play that. And it's also how I managed to make a couple of friends that I could talk to, a couple of other friends that I could go and talk to. Um, Even though online, still meaningful, still nice. And I, the stories have inspired me plenty too. I even made a fanfic story, kind of. Yeah. Back in my earlier days of writing. Which are, now that I read, are kind of cringe. Which is funny because I'm also kind of weird with my stories that I write even now. And I'm pretty sure that I'm cringy to people, or that I would be, whomever may read my things, even now. But I promise you that the way that I wrote things back then was even cringier and not nearly as good. But yeah, in spite of all the awkwardness and all of the weirdness and things, but yeah, Destiny 2 was very meaningful for me as well. Newest game that I am very set on is Hades. Hades 1 and 2. Right now it's 2. I want to go back to 1 soon, but Hades 2 is very, very good. Yeah. There's lots of other games that I go and I play. There's lots of other games that have meaning, that I don't get into as much anymore. I kind of fell off of playing Destiny 2. It really didn't have anything to do with any negativity that I was talking about, or the game itself, to be honest. It is just, I've played it so much, like so much, and I kind of burned myself out on accident. Now, unfortunately though, I think that I want to just go and be able to get back into playing before, I can't, before anything happens with it. I just want to play it still. I still have plenty to do. And, I mean, maybe I could try to go and see if that's something. But yeah, I did fall off of playing Destiny 2. I just got burned out. That's all. But, yeah. There is other things like Tekken. I've played Tekken. I've played Crash. I have played Soul Calibur. As a matter of fact, Soul Calibur was one of the first games that I was playing. That actually is how I met a lot of people in the past. Well, not a lot, like, oh my god. But a lot of people to me, for somebody who not the best at making friends and being friends, because I'll admit that when I was younger, I wasn't very good at being a good friend. I was very bad socially compared to now. And I'm still trying to improve who I am and how I am as a person, even to this day. So, yeah. Soul Calibur was one of the things that I was very interested in back then. So yeah, I've had a lot of memories with video games too. There is also, I play classic games. I have memories of playing Galaga. I used to go and play Galaga at like a little pizza restaurant when I was younger. And that was that brings memories. There was this arcade game that I had for the PlayStation. It was an arcade series that I used to play so much, and I didn't even understand how to play that game very well. Um, it had games like Joust, Centipede, either Centipede or Millipede or both. I don't know which one. It had Bubbles. It had Paperboy. Uh, it had this one like car driving game where you're just where you're riding in a car, and I think you get power ups, and you can get these little fuel bubble things, and you're supposed to try to, you know, steer out of the way of like cars and other things and obstacles and stuff like that. Um, and there's more, plenty more than just that. But I remember playing it. I think it was Midway Arcades, I think. Um, but yeah, I remember playing that when I was younger, plenty. Um, and yeah. Uh, I have played. Oh, there are some PC games I played. I mostly stick with consoles, but there are some PC games I played. I've played what do you call it? Uh, PC games. Oh yeah. Warcraft. I played Warcraft. That was very, very fun. Warcraft 2 and 3. And then I tried to play World of Warcraft. That did not turn out well. I played that only for the shortest amount of time. Mostly because it was expensive, and being able to go and play it was somehow a bit of some work that wasn't a good idea around that time. So yeah. And only other thing that I can think of as far as games that I've played that are really, really meaningful right now is Spore. And lastly, a website, because I have played on multiple websites too, and one of them was Pogo, and that was one that gave me memories of one of my parents, the better parent that I was able to play with. I played things like bingo and card games and all that stuff with them. And yeah, it was a lot of fun getting badges and all kinds of other stuff. And I think that was one of the best websites out there for games, because it was so lively with people, and there was so much customization things you could do. And if you played these, like, if you subscribed basically to it and you played it, you would be able to go and get, I think at one point you could get actual money, and you could go and get, like, earn, like, actual, like, products and stuff. I'm not sure, but I think that's the way it worked. And I missed that. And that, it was fun. It was so active, and there were so many people. I missed that. Like, the whole vibe, the whole feeling. Yeah. Yep. I've talked about a whole bunch. I have a lot more music that I could mention. I have a lot more video games I could go and talk about. I do have a couple of honorable mentions, even though it's probably gonna, I feel as though it would be a little silly if I mentioned them. Uh, Obviously, because of like the things that I like, it's not just because of that. It's actually the music itself. Um, so there was this one time where I was deciding to be a little silly, and I was looking up, um, like some playlists and some songs and things to add to a playlist, and I found this band called Lycanthrope. Um, they have a song called Skin and Bones, and then I started listening to their other songs, and that is actually, their music actually is pretty good. It's not all about just that concept or anything, but like as far as like listening to it and enjoying some of the message and some of the emotions that are captured, they do a pretty good job in my opinion. So I know they're going and saying that because I like werewolves and lichens and stuff. It's not really about that. I'm not going to like anything that just has that title or has that name. It's actually because I really like the actual music. And I am, in my opinion, picky about music to some degree. There's plenty of music I do listen to, but at the same time, there's also plenty of music that I just can't enjoy the same way, or that I feel like is missing something. So I probably would be considered a bit more picky, I think. But yeah. Um, I think that I've expressed a lot of that stuff that I like so far. So I've spoken about music, and I've spoken about um, music, and I've spoken about video games. Uh, I am gonna do one last thing. First, I'm gonna go and wrap this up, and then I'm gonna go and do a silly thing after. And if you want to stay to listen to that, you can, but you don't have to. I mean, you don't have to listen to any of this, but okay. First, wrapping this up, remember to like and subscribe, or like and subscribe, get it? But that, and uh comment about anything that you feel about the whole music thing, and ask questions and talk about it. Uh, just be respectful. I'll answer what I can, and if I can't, I'll try to be as nice as possible, saying that I don't really feel like answering that, and trying to get as close as I can to answering something probably adjacent to that. But yeah, tell about how you feel and things that are meaningful to you, and times you've had that are meaningful that don't make you feel bad about talking about it, and things with video games and stuff too. Yeah, that's me wrapping it up, and I'm just gonna go and list off a lot of the artists that I've listened to, um, the musical artists, because I really, 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 really love music. And there are so many artists that I listen to now, and have listened to, and will go back to listen to. So if that's not a problem, I'm just going to go and do that right now. There's Frank Sinatra. There's, in no particular order, Frank Sinatra, Jeff Castellucci, Jonathan Young, Eminem, Jimi Hendrix, B.B. King, Bobby Blue Bland, Sam Cooke, Otis Redding, Nina Simone, Norah Jones, Diana Krall, Harry Connick Jr., Nefex, let's see, um, uh, 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 let's see, what was it? What was it? I can't remember the name right now. Fine. There's Michael Jackson. There's Pitbull. There is Jennifer Lopez. I already named Maroon 5. Let's see. Jason Mraz. I listen to Jason Mraz a lot. We have, what? Wrong thing. Okay, What's it called? Sam. There's another one. Jeez. Yeah. King Brown. I know I mentioned that one. Johnny Cash. What is it? Taylor Swift. Pegboard Nerds. Skrillex. NF. Rakim. MC Light. Only Tina Turner. Aretha Franklin. Nina Simone. Ella Fitzgerald. Let's see. I know I already named Diana Krall, but there is Harry Connick Jr., Michael Bublé, John Mayer. Let's see. For a very brief time, Drake. Cobra Starship, because I have some memories of listening to that for some time. Fall Out Boy. Cradle of Filth. Beelzebub. We Are Wolves. I know that I already named Aaron Carr and Corpse. What else? There's so many more, dude. I already know I named B.B. King. What was the other one? There was also Howlin' Wolf, I believe was his name, who sang Smokestack Lightning. And then, I already know I did Creedence Clearwater Revival. Steve Miller Band. Steely Dan. But those memories somehow also depressed me because it was back in that time. And also my mom liked them. So, like, I can know that I can go on and on because there are way more than that I actually know and that I've listened to. Usher. Yeah. I know I can keep going. Salt and Pepper. But I only heard like one song from them. I think I already said it, but MC Light. Missy Elliott? Unless I'm thinking of someone else. No, I'm pretty sure I'm thinking of that. Newer. Oh yeah, The Wanted. And One Direction. And Justin Bieber. What's her name? Gwen Stefani. And Cher. there's some more. I'm almost there. There's definitely way more than this, but ones I've heard most likely multiple songs from, all of those. I've listened to Dan Vasc a little bit too. Anthony Vincent, how could I forget, dude? And Metallica. Oh no. What is... Oh, I forgot. An artist that I really wanted to go and name. It was back when I was listening to Jimi Hendrix. But it was a woman. Oh, what was her name? I forgot. I really liked. Oh, jeez. Well, that sucks. I'm gonna have to look that up. Almost done. Because I know that I'm slowing down a bit too much now. I want to keep going. Because I know I have so many more. I guess it's just getting late. Okay. It barely counts, but... Oh, wait. No. Nelly. There we go. What's his name? There's one song that I like from Kenny Chesney, by the way. There's that. Thinking... Things are on right there, right in the front of my brain that I can go and almost say, I swear. Just a couple more. I know I named Lady Antebellum. I know I named Lady Wilson. Oh, wait. For some reason, I don't know if this... Hopefully this doesn't bother anyone. But I also like... they're not called A Tribe Called Red anymore. But there was also... But they're called Hallucination. Sorry if I'm butchering the name. Apologies. But there's that too. That was meaningful time of that music too. Anyway, ow, wait a minute. There's another Black Braid, newer thing that I like listening to. There was that. Yeah. And there's couple. There's another one. I believe he's an Irish. Oh yeah, there's also the Sid, or however you pronounce it. But there's like I believe he's Irish, and he's a YouTuber, and I forgot. Okay, well, I named as many as I can think of, and there's still more to name, but I'm not going to be able to go and remember all of those, so, especially not offhand right now, so. Okay, well, that's it. Bye. Please go and comment and all that stuff, and do everything that you can to go and communicate and enjoy my stuff and things like that. Bye.